Hey guys, all right, listen, I hope that the visual is better. If it's not better, we are recording this separately, and what you'll do is we'll have a portion of this on the Tibi Instagram site, and then we will also have the full video for you. And so, I don't know, my face might be stretched out. We'll just deal with it. So as long as you guys can see the clothing, and we'll have this really good conversation, and then you'll have a beautiful video to look at afterwards. So Dion is in her first outfit. We can hear you guys.
So I'll start again actually. So this is just your seamless sweater tank that's on the online outlet right now. If you search under tops or knitwear, it's there. It comes in black and in white. So this would be your without fail style. And then these pants here, I would consider an in and out because they are interesting and they give you that element of newness that makes you feel more alive when you get dressed. So it is a new shape and an amazing silhouette. However, this is something that can be seamlessly worn from spring to fall. So that means, I don't know if you guys saw one of our live videos where we're at Amy's house. I wore this back to a cashmere sweater and tall boots just as easily as I did with this tank top. And then also, I'm gonna get up here so you guys can see the shoes again. So I have to have, thank you, I have to have, it would be something like these, which is the enamel heeled shoe, which is chunky, it's interesting, it's new. So it's not necessarily something that that you wouldn't already have. So it's something that gives you newness, and it has a new color in this beautiful tan ochre. So that gives you the newness paired back to your without fail and your in and out style. Thank you. Change.
Okay, so for me, it was funny, just even understanding my own style and becoming a better designer, offering a better collection. Once I figured out what those without fail items were, it really all clicked for me because, you know, now when Tracy and Hannah and I are working on a new collection, it gives us a huge amount of bandwidth to experiment with. So if we want to play around with something that has like a really strong shoulder to it, I'm going to grab one of our Liam blazers. Like this is one of the new fall Liam blazers that we have coming up. A lot of you guys have already reserved this, and it's got all these different snaps to let you wear it different ways. And this blazer, like, it's very forward, it's very pushed, you know, and I love it. I'm for sure gonna love it for the next 2 or 3 years. But the thing about an in and out is you don't have to love it forever. You can love it for a period of time and get great use out of it. Then you can put it away and then you can bring it back out again. But it's not like a marriage, you know, you're not like super overly committed to it. These pants that I'm wearing, these are my without fails. Like it doesn't matter what year it's going to be. There's so much versatility in the pant. When you buy a without fail from us, just that longer rise, because later on, like if there's a whole trend going on with higher waisted, I might just pull it up and belt it. Or if I'm on the train or I want it to be shorter, then I'll wrap my shoes around it and I'll make it shorter. So without fail items, they tend to be neutral. They tend to be 12-monthers, things that you can wear 12 months of the year. They tend to be things that I could wear this to take my son to a golf tournament, and I could wear a great top with it and go out at night. And then what's really important to me is it allows me to wear really modern new items with it, but still feel like myself. So if I'm wearing the big oversized blazer here, and then this blazer, what's really great, it has this cozy element so you can really scrunch it up. But if I'm wearing this whole big blazer here, for a lot of you guys, I mean, most of you are like, okay, Amy, right, we've seen you in a big blazer like 100 times. But if you're really looking at experimenting with a big blazer, then finding what that item is in your closet, that without fail, that when you put this on, you're gonna look like you've tried something new, but it's going to be familiar at the same time. And there's a difference between things being familiar and being tired. So familiar gives you comfort. It makes you feel like you're still yourself. Tired means like you're bored and you have no zest for life, and that's not a good thing. So clothing should make you feel modern and alive. It should push you, but you should still feel like yourself when you wear it. So Dion's coming out next, and this was These were the sequin shorts.
These
2015 or
these were spring 2016 or 2017. So
not 17, 16.
it was spring 16, yeah, because that was all the rose quartz colors. So a sequin short is definitely not something that I have in my regular rotation, obviously. So this is definitely something that like I would consider a have to have. But I have kept it because I knew eventually I'd want to wear it again. So I have this easy button-down shirt. This is actually a new one from fall. So it's going to be in your first delivery. You'll see it soon. It actually has an interesting button detail where you can button it across or you can button it the classic way. You can actually see it underneath here. But basically I have my without fail on. That can also has enough newness to where it's not your average button-down shirt. If you have a menswear inspired button-down shirt, this also makes sense too, so you have something that you can cinch or wear regular. And then you also have to have, and then these I would consider your in and outs because they're not something, like they have an interesting color in the burgundy, which is a great neutral, so it pairs back to colors like a rose, which is hard to pair back. Especially with a rose color like this, sometimes black looks a little too harsh. So having something in this color really evens it out.
Yeah, over the weekend I did a bunch of stories on how to wear colors, what you mix with things, and really when she puts this burgundy color on with the blush, it really just takes it to that whole one ton or none chic.
Perfect.
Sorry guys, you know what, the video afterwards is gonna be great. So like you guys are just gonna be super patient with us here, and then this video afterwards you're gonna be like, that's incredible. So anyways, when you've got this burgundy shoe on though, for someone who's a creative pragmatic, this is the ultimate balance between creativity and pragmatism, right? Like it's just gorgeous all together. And if you were wearing black with it, I would say you would look like you're wearing more of an outfit.
Yes.
And this is like more style.
I agree. Also, what's great about this top is it obviously will go seamlessly with things, and I'm going to show you actually how to wear this with a little bit more color too. So I'll be back.
Okay, great. So if you're digging through your closet and you're like really separating things out, so your woofs, the without fails, for me, they tend to be natural fibers or more fibers that are a little more classic. Like it would be unlikely that I would have some weird polyurethane techie thing as a without fail. So, I mean, yeah, without fails. So I would have like leather joggers. I would have these pants. I would have anything, you know, I wear to death my cotton poplin skirts. Like all of those really, really core shapes go into the without fails and those natural fibers.
So I actually have this on with a new sweater. So you guys remember that beautiful featherweight cashmere sweater that I showed you, I think it was last weekend in the blue, that had the really cool elbow slits? Well, we have it in this beautiful V-neck in the same fabrication that is coming for our first drop of fall. So expect to see it in the next couple of weeks. It's really beautiful. So this is in a beautiful light blush. So this is a great way to kind of mix these colors for a very beautiful tonal look. Also, what's great is that I consider this more of an in and out, just because you do have these interesting details, but it is also a without fail because this is something that you can just wear year round, especially in this lightweight cashmere. Fun fact about this one is you can just flip it around and have the V in the back, and it looks very, very chill and interesting. And then here I still have the same burgundy sandals on for a really great transitional look, but you can even play around with something like a long short like this and even try it with a tall boot too. So again, this is one of those styles that makes you feel very fresh and new. However, it is something that you can keep wearing on regular rotation. It has enough interesting details to where you will never get tired of this.
Yeah, because, you know, for you, because Deanna and I, we classified different things for you or without
Yes.
fails versus me. So is that sweater without fail for you? Or
This one,
is that...
I would say, would be a without fail.
Mhm.
I think for a lot of people, this would be an in and out, but for me, I wear a lot of blush year round.
Yeah.
And
So the only discerning thing to you then is the color.
but then also even the detail here. But I think it adds to versatility to make it more
Yeah,
without fail.
because I think one of the most important things about without fails is I mean, if you were reading a magazine, like they would like, that's called a basic. And really, I think we named it Without Fails because they're just those items that work every time, but they have the functionality of a basic, but they're definitely not basic.
They're always going to have a point of interest when we're
Yeah.
talking about our brand anyway. So yeah, it would be
Yeah.
without fail.
Yeah, cool. All right, so here is another top that we love, and I had this on a few weeks ago, and I just want to show you guys. For me, this was kind of a real play on classics. I wouldn't say I have hardcore gingham classics in my closet all the time. This might turn into Without Fail. Right now, for me, it's an in and out. I might be in the mood for it 2 years from now. I'm not sure, but right now I love it, and it feels really fresh and new. And one of the things I wanted to show you guys is this little trick that a lot of times I knot it up in the back here. And what's really great is when you take any of your classic shirts, do this with like a big white shirt, anything as long as it doesn't have a tent back to it. But if you take a classic shirt and you knot it up in the back, it pulls the front open and it gives you this natural opening. So when I wore it a few weeks ago, I had shown you guys how to take the back here and tuck it under to create that natural opening. And then when I started playing around with it more, I was like, oh, really, if I just knot it in the back, then it opens up naturally. And my sister, who's like 5'10", and she wears a size 12 in Tibi, this really made her so happy because she loves the idea of wearing that easy shirt. But I think, I gave her size stats, and she's probably like, thanks a lot, Amy, shut up. But I think that no matter what size you are, this whole idea of like being able to wear something untucked, like it's great in a magazine, but like the reality is, I feel really sloppy, right? So remember, just unbutton the two, hike it back, tie it in a knot, tuck it under there, and you're good to go, right? So easy. Okay, this is great.
I'll pull my hair back so you can see the dress better. So this is the Chalky Drape dress in buttered yellow. It has a beautiful corsetry detail that is adjustable. You can make it loose or tight to your liking. It has these beautiful D-ring details. So for me, this would definitely be I would say an in and out, because in the butter, I feel like you could take this and use it as a really beautiful layering piece underneath the cashmere sweater. So this is not just a one and done. I think you can wear this again. It's just a really beautiful and elegant silhouette, and it's a seasonless material. The way we actually styled this back in our campaign was back to a beautiful padded overcoat that's really heavy and a tall boot. But you see here, I'm actually wearing it back to the patent mules that are brand new for a pre-fall. I'm gonna hop up here so you can get a good look at them. I'll be fine, don't worry.
Okay.
So, it's got a square toe detail, really cool, and then it's got this beautiful block, am I touching the screen? The block heel. Yes, so in this neutral palette here, this makes it very spring. So what I was saying for me, thank you, is that this for me would be an in and out. Just because it's butter, I think in the purpley, like the light purple color, I think it would be a little bit more of a have to have.
Mm-hmm.
But here I was saying, if you take this and you layer it with like a light colored cashmere, or even doing that padded overcoat, it becomes several different things.
Yeah, so you'll wear that like crazy for a season or 2 or 3, but then you might be like, you know what, I'm not into corsetry anymore. Or someone told me that like silver feels out or dated, and that's when you might put it away for a little while and then bring it back out again.
Yeah.
But right now, this is where, one of the big things about an in and out is you can usually identify a lot of key trends at the moment. So this is a brand new dress, and the key trend right here, you've got the drop shoulder, you've got the idea of a stronger shoulder, but the new feeling for a stronger shoulder is there's more comfort to it. It's not like angry, aggressive shoulder. And then you've got this corsetry detail. So all of those things together make it a dress that is on trend. It's definitely not trendy, but you know, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, I wore that better dress 5 times this week. Like,
Yeah,
you
so
know, if
true.
you think about cost per wear, like obviously the cost per wear on these nylon pants is like crazy low. If I divide the number of times that I've worn it versus what I paid for it, it's super, super low. For that dress, it's gonna be, you know, in a season you might, you know, you can wear it to work, you can wear it out, you wear it a lot, but it's not gonna be
Yeah.
worn to death.
Yeah, not like these pants, but still, it isn't a one and doneer.
Yeah, and in and out should be worn enough that if you try and give it to the real, they're like, no, we're not gonna take it. And that's the goal, right? You don't want stuff that like has the tags on it and all that. So to that end, I'm showing the black nylon pant here with our new cotton poplin top. 075. Okay, all right, thanks. Everyone knows your code now. All right. Okay, so one of the great things about a without fail, and because without fail should live in your luggage. If you were traveling somewhere, if I brought this pant with me, like if I were in Paris right now, I would throw on a heel and I could go to a really nice restaurant, right? And I'm dressed appropriately, but I absolutely could have been on the airplane sleeping in this and I would have been fine. And like I said, I'd be at my son's golf tournament and I would be fine. And I want to point out, like if I was at my son's golf tournament, if I was wearing just a little tank top with these pants, or especially with the pants in white, it would have been really appropriate. And I'm saying this because I was at said tournament recently and a woman walked up to me and she was wearing one of those Lululemon skirts. And she was like, I love your outfit. I love your outfit. And she was like, I wish I was wearing that outfit. And you know, these things, like they're really easy to wear. It's just a nylon pant and you're just wearing a tank top with it. And so I think the key is these are really low risk. But a lot of times it's not so much that you or people aren't willing to take the risk. They just simply don't know that this is the pant that you'll live in. This is a pant when that poor woman wrote to me over the weekend on Instagram and said, help me get out of my skirt. And I was like, to me, if she's walking around in those Lululemon skirts all day, I told her, you know, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. So that was really good. The next step now is figuring out what those items are that you'll be able to live in that can really replace that. So we've also brought here today some things from my own closet to give you guys examples of what, like for me, what a had to have is. And again, had to haves are super emotional. They're going to vary by person. So like this is an example of a had to have. And you know, I like things so clean and simple. And my little secret is in my closet, I will have these either Miu Miu items, or this one is from Margiela. And I got it from Ikram in Chicago, and that store is like you walk in there and, you know, she could like convince me to buy a polar bear in that store because it's just like such jewel candy. But this is one of my had to haves. And I'm going to be honest, I paid a fortune for it. My cost per wear is like atrocious. I've had it for 4 years. I've never worn it once. But even like holding it right now, like I love it. I'm not giving it to the real. This thing is like going down with me. I love it. So these are okay to have, but you don't want your whole house made up of them, right? So you can have them, but just not in a great abundance. Otherwise, you'll waste a lot of money. And I will tell you here, it doesn't even matter what your income is. This is not about like, well, I can really afford to have tons of had to have, so don't worry about me. It's not that. It's just that like when you buy in a more thoughtful way, then you can get dressed in a more thoughtful way. This stuff, like if this represented half my closet, like trust me, I would wake up and it would be a shit show. There's no way I'd be able to just like get dressed and run out the door. I'd be confused. I'm like, am I this person or am I like a sequin satin line bustier woman? I don't know. So keep these things in small little bits so that they have the right place in your closet.
Okay. So I'm still wearing the same dress underneath, but I wanted to show you guys this one because this I consider a have to have for most people. However, for me, I definitely think this would be an in and out. And that's because it has a lot of things that make the cost per wear on this item feel like a different coat each time. So for one, there's a really beautiful removable belt. This is also water resistant, which I think is really great because it's nice and warm and just really cozy, and it is filled with padding, which is great. You've got this beautiful detail here. You've got your buttons and you've got your buckle detail. So if I actually unbutton this and open it, I'm just wearing it with my dress, and it just kind of makes it a little less, you know, it just makes it a little less romantic by having this really fun utilitarian oversized pocket here. And there's an even better detail actually happening here, which I absolutely love. So I'm sure you've seen this on the website, but you have these little suspenders here. So this is one of those functional things that I absolutely love that Tibi makes, is the fact that when I'm hot on the train and I don't want to take my coat all the way off and carry it, because I'm usually carrying my iPad and Lord knows what else with samples and everything that I'm carrying around, you take this off and you don't even have to remove your coat. So you're still warm. You're still nice and cool. You can take this off and just keep it on without actually having to lug and carry it around. So that gives you some really interesting functional details. So for me, this is an in and out. And I'm sure for Amy, this would be an in and out as well.
The coat?
Yeah. Unless you consider have to have.
I think that I would buy it thinking that it was a trend item, but I think it would become a woof for me because I think that it's so, I mean, I get, you know, I'm a mom, like if I were doing an outside soccer thing or whatever, like a lot of you moms write to me and you're like, I need to stay nice and toasty. I'm on on the sidelines watching a soccer tournament and it's November. And this is something that like is so chic and put together. And I had to go to tons of hockey tournaments in my day. And let me tell you, nothing is like, I hate the averageness of just those like little fitted Montclair jackets with the belt and then the fitted jean and then the wedge boot. And I don't mean to, like, I'm not about clothing shaming, I promise. I really don't like that at all. But I know that what happens is it's those women that come up to me and they're like, I don't want to be in this outfit and I want to wear what you're wearing. And that's what I try and explain to people. You don't have to buy the average thing out there. And a lot of times, you know, getting to know smaller brands, getting to know smaller specialty stores, people with interesting points of view, they can really help you out here. And I can relate to it. You know, when this comes to, like if I'm doing my home, I don't know a thing. I'm really like completely paralyzed when it comes to my house. So I get it. Like I don't think it makes me a bad person. I don't think it means I have bad style. It just means like for some reason, I can't communicate who I am through my house. So that's what we're trying to help you guys do. A lot of times I try and give really good examples and a lot of you guys ask for bad examples too. You want to know like, you know, not this. So not that what I said earlier, but do this. But I mean, I would wear that
This
to
is a without fail.
grocery store.
With the white joggers and just a
Totally.
sweatshirt, then you are basically all set with a sneaker. And what's nice about this is that it becomes a without fail because a lot of people don't have something in this color to pair back to a lot of their beautiful whites and creams in the winter. And it's a really great way to elevate your look without wearing something fussy, especially since this is waterproof. So it really does tick all the boxes for something that is a without fail. It's just that I think a lot of people would generally shy away from something like this when it really is very functional and quite warm. In fact, I need to take it off because I'm very warm. But I just wanted to show you guys that because this dress can still be a blank canvas and you can wear it for quite a while, from spring to winter, and it still works. And if you have like an oversized like men's drop shoulder vintage coat with this and a tall shaft boot, it becomes something completely different as well.
Great. So here is one of our cotton pollen tops from the new pre-fall collection. And for me, this would go under the category of an in and out. I love it. I'm really into this sleeve right now. I find the whole like smocking is really interesting to me. peplum details are really interesting to me, and I think I'm gonna love it for a long time, and I think I'm gonna wear it for a long time. I don't think I'm going to wear it all the time forever. If I was traveling to Paris and you told me that I had to have only 4 things in a bag on rotation, this would not be, you know, a structural piece of what I'm packing, right? This is my structural piece, but this would not be. This is my in and out, but you know, it's a cotton poppin' top, and I will wear it to death. I will get my use out of it and feel good about it and get the denial from real. Here is an example of, this is an example for me of a had to have that I have worn. I love it. It makes me happy. It's from Gucci. I would not, you know, I don't think any of you guys are like, yes, green and space thing here, and that's Amy. That's, you know, but I love it. And I think what sometimes, as you get to know your personality better, even on your had to haves, because your had to haves, they do tend to be more splurges, they're very emotional, you'll start to recognize what the commonalities are between the things you had to have and your fundamental pieces that really fill your wardrobe, the without fails. And so even though this seems crazy, it doesn't have fringe off of it. It is still a quite classic body with this craziness going on. And so that classic with a really high level of craziness, I do love that. That's very familiar to me. I know myself intimately that way, so it does not surprise me that this is an add-on in my closet. So next we have our little guest here, Grace. And actually, Grace, will you take the jacket off first? I wanted to show you guys, Grace is wearing the Gabe plaid balloon pants, and she looks gorgeous. Grace is one of our production directors, and she's wearing the balloon pant here. That looks great on you. That looks so good. So I'm gonna pull your hair back. And she's wearing the turtleneck here with the opening in the back. Sorry guys. Okay, so she's wearing the whole look here. And then with the burgundy shoe, this is a shoe color that I think if a lot of you guys were looking at the blacks and the plaid, it wouldn't naturally be instinctual to go with that color of a shoe, but it really just adds something to it. And it keeps you, it's one of those little twists where plaid can walk a fine line, because sometimes you can feel a little conservative in it, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so, but tell me how those pants feel, because a lot of people, you've got a curvier figure,
Yes.
and I get a lot of DMs from people asking how a curvier figure feels in it, so I will let you speak to that.
I love that there's a lot of room here in the legs, so if you've got those nice curvy thick thighs, like if there's a lot of movement here, very comfortable. Love
It
the
looks
waist.
beautiful
Yeah,
on you.
thank you.
It looks really pretty. And so she's got the matching jacket with it. So you've got the full-on look. And then what's great, like Grace, you would wear this jacket with tons of other things, you know?
Jeans,
Yeah.
overall shorts, or nylon joggers.
And sometimes, you know, I've had some DMs from you guys saying like, well, if I get the jacket, do I have to buy the pants? Do I need the full look? And I mean, yes, I'd love for you to have the full look, obviously, but the jacket works so great on its own. Like really, again, the nylon joggers, jeans, this is the thing when you go to the grocery store, don't grab that little denim jacket. You know, a lot of you guys DM me and you're like, I really want to work in that little denim jacket. You don't have to. Like, just try other things in your closet. So you don't have to be linked to the idea that the denim jacket is like the without fail. Let this jacket become that for you, and it really like just wear it, just wear it, just wear it. So, okay, you look beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
So these have finally gone live on the website. You guys remember the Silas Jacquard biker shorts paired back to these Neil's kitten heel. So what I'm wearing is my without fail tank top, and then I'm wearing something that I would consider an in and out. Amy, I don't know if you agree, but for me, I consider the Jacquard to be more of an in and out just because I could wear this season to season.
I think that also what makes the jacquard in and out is it has a print. And I think that when something has a print to it, by default, it is hard for it to be like, again, it wouldn't be that thing that you're like, I wore it 5 times this week and no one noticed. If you wore it 5 times, I'd be like, Dion,
You're like,
take a bath.
please go shower. Like, you'd be like, don't come back until you shower. So this is something that I definitely would consider an in and out because I can wear my tank and sandals in the summer. And then say I wanted to take the matching jacket. Got our matching jacket that also just went live on the website. Finally, can't wait because I want it. And then you've got your full suit. And this can really take you, I'm always cold inside, so I can wear this in the office right now with my sandals. And then when I leave for work, then I just wear this and I have a still put together outfit for when I'm on the subway. So here.
And let me, I just want to say something about the idea of blazers. And, you know, if you look at like old books on how to organize your closet, they're like, put your tops up here, your bottom, you know, like, ugh, it's so like, bleh, boring. And the thing is again, you have to recognize what are the pieces that you wear? What are the things that make you feel best? So for me, I fully have dedicated one whole row to nothing but blazers.
Same.
Because for me, like when, that's why like, I can't stand when like department store merchandisers come in because they're like, we are looking for going out tops. And I'm like, all I need for going out is like the most basic tank because I have going out blazers. I have
Same. Tuxedo
like,
blazer and then you have your work blazer.
Yes.
And sometimes they're the same blazer and you just
Right.
wear them differently.
and people get really fixated because they're like, well, I can't, you know, especially merchandisers are like, you need a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 tops, 1 bottom, like 1 coat for every like 200 tops. I'm like, no, because blazers for me are my tops.
Yeah,
So
same.
it doesn't freak me out in my closet that I have a large amount of space dedicated to that. So, you know, we're like giving you rules today, but it's very specific that like there almost are no rules because you really have to think about all of this in the context of what your style is. And a lot of you watch this because you are creative pragmatics. That is what we preach. I'm not going to preach anything else. But if I've got like a little bohemian person in here, and I'm sure that we do, then for you, your woof might be like that great black peasant skirt. Or if you have, you know, more of a super feminine style, maybe your woof is a pleated, tailored, like perfect rise pant, you know?
Yes.
So really just take away from this, you really think about what are those things that make you feel intrinsically you. They tend to be natural fibers, they tend to be neutral colors, they tend to be things if you wore them 5 days in a week, someone would not like really give you grief on it, and those are your walks. And I just have a fun one to show real quick, so we'll just break this up for a second. So, you know, I told you, like, right, I have that like secret sparkly side, like Tracy, sometimes she's just like, Amy, stop it. But this is, I bought this at, there's a store, Ina, remember Ina, the reseller, I love Ina, in New York, and this was Prada, I don't know what season it was from, and I never wore it. Like, I was so, like, it was such eye candy, and I never wore it, but I don't feel the same way about it like I do the Margiela. I think this one, like, I think this is one that I need to, like, let it go.
Yeah, I think it's
not,
time.
like, because I think the Margiela one, like, if I wore it, I would, oh, okay, well, see, that's the test, right? So the Margiela I would wear with a tank top, and I'd wear the little Margiela beaded thing, and then I'd wear a big tuxedo blazer. This, like, I'm not wearing it with these.
No.
I don't know what obviously I don't know what I'm wearing it with because
Yeah.
I never wore it.
It's time to think it and let it go.
Yeah, so, real.
Yeah. So again, I wanted to just show what makes this more of an in and out. So I have it here back to that same sweater I showed you earlier in blush with the gray sweater, you know, the one with the beautiful elbow detail. So that's one option on how you can wear it, and you can continue to layer with it as well. So to, I could even take this off and just wear it layered with this tank top, and then even throw a coat on top of it as well. So you have a lot of options here.
And that, again, another good example of like, Dion's wearing that tank top that way for me, and wrap skirt. So that was like my way of doing it. And that's the other thing I want to impress upon you guys as we are talking about these different pieces. What I'm really proud of at Tibi is that I think we've established very much a through line of what the brand is about, what the codes of the brand are, but none of us look alike. You know, when you see Dion, when you see Toretta, when you see Tracy, Hannah, Byron, Reed, like all of us, we, you know, Silver, Ashton at the store, we all interpret this in our own different ways. Dion looks great here. I'm not wearing that, but you look amazing. I love it. Like, it looks great. And it's all the pieces that I would wear.
Just very different.
We just wear them in
you
different
would wear
ways.
this with like an oversized poplin skirt
In a
and then
heartbeat.
you're like, you know, an interesting like statement Birkenstock or something.
I love it. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but just showing that this, just because it's a print doesn't mean that it is a have to have.
So let me, oh, sorry, Grace has got the number 2 here. Come on out. So I want to show you guys the, Grace is wearing the double waistband pant. Oh, that looks so great. So she's got the Miriam twill pant on. It's got the double waistband detail. And this is one of our favorite pants. I think it might be a little too statement-y for me to say that it is a without fail, because it wouldn't pass that criteria of like, could I get away with wearing it 5 times in the week and no one would notice? Although I don't know, if I was wearing like a big sweater, it's super versatile. Like,
Yeah.
if I was wearing a big sweatshirt with it, I don't, maybe, well, you know what?
Sweatshirt flats.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing for us as we're designing stuff, you know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, I don't even remember what collection it was that we did. It was here right there. But like this was the pant that we did in tropical wool. It was like fall 2015 or something. And at the time, it was like, oh my God, it's a big wide pant. You've got cargo on it. Like, it's so specific. It's so on trend. But it's one of those things, like, we wore it to death. And it just became something that was just such a part of us. So that pant could really just become a part of us over and
Totally.
over. Yeah.
Especially just throwing a little sneaker on with it,
Yeah.
with, like you said, a little sweatshirt, a little structure in the shoulders would be so cute.
And even like a flip-flop in the summertime with a tank top. And then again, you know, with this pant, also don't get caught up in the fact that it's got the double waistband. Like, if you do want to wear a big sweatshirt, you can hide the waistband. You don't have to show it. And that's one of the parts of the freedom of getting to know your style, is knowing that you don't have to wear it the way that we showed it. You don't have to wear it the way it was in a picture or in a magazine. You just wear it the way that you feel really comfortable in it. And I always tell people, I'm like, you own the clothing, they don't own you. I tell that to my husband a lot. He's one of those, like, I kind of feel like he would put plastic on our couch if he could. So I'm a really big fan of like owning the clothing and wearing it today. So that looks great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And there was a question about what sizes she was wearing, and she was wearing true 12. Looked amazing in those pants.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show, because we're actually wearing a similar variation on shape. I'm just wearing one in an older, like, window pane virgin wool blend that's actually on the outlet right now. So if you go and look up menswear window pane, you can find this trouser. So this one has the double waistband, which makes it even more versatile. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. And so basically I have it tied with the ankles like we normally do. This is back to our Giro sandal that I basically show you every week, which is that without fail style that is a square toe sandal with the ankle wrap detail. So this pant is extremely versatile, so this is also a without fail. Doesn't matter what pattern or print it's in. Like, we even have it, we had it hanging here.
Oh, here, I have it.
Oh, you have it hanging
Sorry.
over here? Like, it's something that we make in several different iterations. You have it here actually in the tropical wool, which is on our end of season sale. So end of season sale and then outlet.
I think there's one size
like
zero
one
left, and I know
There's green though, right?
and there's green, and then I know Hampton and Charleston, HamptonClothing.com. They have some in the
They
navy.
definitely have some
Yes.
too. And for anyone who's in Europe, I believe Macondo still has some units in the green. So
And then this, and let me give you a backstory here about the sweatshirt, and I'm going to link it to our size and a lot of questions that I get about sustainability. A lot of you guys write to me and say, you know, you want us to be much more transparent about what we are doing in the sustainability range, and I'm letting you guys know 100% we are walking the walk. We are figuring out how to talk the talk. You know, I don't want to ever create the impression that like we come to work and we're all like making homemade kombucha here or anything like that. It's not that type of brand, but we are the type of brand that cares a ton about where things are made. We care how they're made, and we care to make sure that we are using fabrications that are having the least detrimental effect onto the environment. And then most of all, and this is really starting with our pre-fall collection, guys, we have cut down our production so much. We are producing tiny amounts. So, you know, when we are producing, like we had those sculpted jeans that sold out, we had those first rounds of the jogger. When I said we had small runs, like I'm saying like we cut 100 pieces, you know? So when you're reading about like, oh, something Navy did a thing with Nordstrom and they sold like $4 million worth in the first day. We can't sell $4 million in one day. Like that's impossible because we don't have that much merchandise. We are a small company. We are doing very small runs, and they are super, super, super small going forward. And you know, we've been able to have a strong sale for spring because COVID hit. We had merchandise. Like you have merchandise left over. Going forward, that is not the name of the game. So when we went into the pre-fall and fall collections, we chopped it. We chopped it like almost in half how much we were producing. So one of the things that I cut out and I didn't produce were these sweatshirts. And I wore it the other day and I posted it and you guys gave so much love to it. So I didn't produce it, but I did have to buy all the sweatshirting fabric from Italy. So I have it all sitting there. So we're going to go ahead and produce the cutout sweatshirt. And afterwards, you'll see a link and everything to go ahead and reserve it. But we have it in gray and we have it in a really pretty cream color. And it's just, you know, it's an easy price point and it's one of those pieces that, again, you can make that one a wolf.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I think when people see something that's backless online, they think that's the only way you can wear it. And if you see here, I'm wearing it layered with a t-shirt underneath. Just for some of you who don't want to show this part of your back, it still works and it's a great thing to just have a bodysuit or t-shirt layered underneath. But if you want to do backless as well, it looks fantastic.
And actually, if you look on if you look on my Instagram feed right now, I was wearing it the other day, and I wore it with a really pretty brown Malia Mills bathing suit top. So that's the other thing too, the little surprises in your closet. Go through your bathing suits and pull that out. They make great layering pieces. We get so many requests of where did you get that bandeau top? Where did you get that? And a lot of times they're just bathing suits. So that works really well. Hey, Reed, will you tell Byron to come out here? Reed? I want Byron.
Oh, Byron? Oh, you got Byron.
Other wafts in your closet, you guys, all of these layering pieces. And one of the things that we're doing is going forward, starting in January, we are going to be keeping small runs of our wafts, our version of wafts. We've called them fundamentals because they are the fundamentals of our wardrobe. But we're going to start keeping those on the site all the time so that when you're trying something really, really new, you'll also have something super, super familiar to wear back with them. This is almost
So,
becoming a waft.
The pleated top at this point, yes, this is the pleated cotton top. We also have it in a blended material as well, but this one comes in white and navy. I've shown you guys this one every single week, and it really, for me, has become a waft, and that's because has endless opportunities. I'm wearing it here just with an eased out relaxed pant that I was wearing earlier. You can wear it with the nylon joggers like we did in Runway, how we styled it. And then even those Miriam twoll pants, I feel like most of the viewers now own those pants because they're one of our best sellers. The pant that I started out the live in You can wear that there with a strappy heel as well. You have endless opportunities. Here we go. Here's
Yeah, I
one.
was just gonna show, and then Byron, our artist in residence, I post a lot of his paintings up, but Byron's our art director, and I just wanted to show he is wearing our pants here, and the pants are sold exclusively at essence.com and then at the Tibi store, and we wear
That's
the pants too.
great.
Yeah, like
It's like light, breathable, looks good. Honestly, no, it's like one of my
Like,
favorite
look,
pants
say
right
something
now.
else. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really easy. And so if you do any guy sharing at home or you just want a broader range of sizes,
It's a
those are
good
the
pants.
pants. Exactly. Cool. Thanks. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. One of the things though with the fundamentals going forward as well is you are going to find a lot more extra larges and size 14s in the fundamentals. So we're gonna really broaden out there with that. And I wanna leave you with a thought when you are thinking about this. And again, I keep relating it to my house because, you know, so many people, they're like, oh, Amy, please show me the inside of your house. And I'm like, no, because like, ugh, you don't want to see it. And again, it's because I have not been able to find the way to express myself in my house. And I'll give you an example. When I redid the house, before I give you that example, you're going to see Dion and one other great thing, and then I'll tell you the story.
So these are the linen pants. These are in Russ. They're new to sale. I absolutely love them. So they're very similar to the Wesson linen, but they're in this beautiful cinnamon colorway. And why I consider these also a beautiful new in and out style because the color is something that really works back to neutrals. Here I'm wearing it with our top that is now a woof. And then also if I take this and take this top off and then layer it, it becomes something early fall. Appreciation for
And she's wearing the black alpaca sweater that we had explained a week or two ago that this is done from black alpacas. So they're not dyed. It's a eco-friendly farm in a sustainable farm in Peru. And these are little black alpacas.
They're like cute little baby alpacas
Yeah.
with new little haircuts.
Yeah.
Except
Well, they're
for-
not babies. I think
They're not babies.
are they?
I think they're little cute
Oh, it's baby
babies.
alpaca. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
okay.
babies. So
But
that's
no
even
alpacas were
cuter.
harmed.
No
Okay.
one harmed. They just needed haircuts, just like most of us do now.
Yeah.
So this is the black alpaca. So I can take this, wear it with sandals for like early fall or even transitional early spring, and then I can take them and pair them back to sneakers or even like a mule, closed-in mule or something like that. And the colors still all make sense.
Cool. All right, so the analogy I'm going to leave you with really quickly is, in my house, when I redid it, it was a moment in time. There was like Givenchy had done this whole cat print, it was amazing, and Balenciaga had done all these spaceships, and it was a really like exciting, printy time. Well, that didn't mean that like it had to be all over my house. And so in my bedroom, in the like gigantic bathroom, I went wild with like these wallpapers. And so if you think about it, like those wallpapers, they would have been the equivalent of like the in and outs. In and outs are trendier items, they're of the moment. You might like them for a year or two, but then you like want to maybe put them away for a while. So for me, I took an in and out and I like plastered my walls with it. Like, don't take an in and out and like permanently glue it to something. Like in and outs need to be able to go in and out. Like if anyone knows a good painter, let me know. I got to get that wallpaper off my wall. It's making me crazy. So those are the things. You're gonna feel crazy if you go into your closet and it's filled with like those trendier items that have got pops of color to them, or if it's filled with all those emotional items. So really focus on what your woofs are. What are the things that make you feel comfortable and great every time? Put them on, then put on those in and outs. Does it go back with your woofs? If every time you put on an in and out, but your bottoms never go with it, then something is off here. Either you're really misunderstanding what your core is, or you're just off balance, okay? So that's a really good place to start. Just see like, how are those guys meshing in? And then start to really evaluate those had to haves. Are you keeping them? Do you need to let them go? Don't get your closet weighted down in them. It'll make you crazy. You'll spend a ton of money. That's not a great thing to do. I mean, whatever, it's your choice, but I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Okay, and I hope this was helpful. We'll do lots of follow-up. I know you guys had tons of color questions as well, so we'll dive into that a little bit more next week. And that's it. Thank you. Goodbye. Sorry for all the technical problem, but we're going to have this videotaped great, and we'll lead you guys over to that when you go onto the